In today's video, we're going to be reacting to the latest strange and more questionable clips that I could find on TikTok. Let's get into it.
You are all about to get arrested for stalking, I'm not even joking. Though the actual definition and law on stalking worldwide has been a topic for a while and it's recently actually changed. Though you might think stalking is where you're physically standing outside someone's house or following them constantly, tracking their location non-stop, but it's actually more than that. You see, what they've said recently, things like Snapchat, Snap Maps, is actually technically stalking. If you're following someone or seeing their movements, that's stalking. Or even as far as Find My Friends, this would actually be counted as stalking if a person reported you, apparently. And other things such as putting an AirTag in someone's bag, I mean, yeah, that's probably not great. Now, no, you're not just going to randomly get FBI open up to your house, but the whole thing is these things can be seen as stalking if someone was to report you for doing it, because these platforms do have the capacity to see people's movements, track where they're going or stuff, which, yeah, is now in that definition. So make sure you share this video about and stay safe. There is a lot of talk on this at the moment, and also a lot of horror stories about people being genuinely stalked through things like Snapchat, where it's ended pretty badly. So it's always recommended to not share your location on any platform unless it's people you genuinely trust, but as always, hit that follow button and I'll keep you updated.
I used Snapchat way back in the day when it first came out, and I don't even remember why I was using it. I think I had some friends that were using it at the time, but it was pointless to me, so I ended up just deleting my account. And then I found out eventually you could actually track people's location if they were sharing their location on Snapchat. That's pretty crazy. I don't understand why people would want to just share their location openly like that to the public. Maybe if it was just with friends, but to the whole public, people can just see where people are just by looking up a username or who's active in a certain area. That sounds really dangerous to me. Let alone these other companies are keeping an eye on you and probably selling your information to third-party companies.
The last 24 hours have been insane. Despite Stranger Things 5 literally breaking records on Netflix, it is now dropped to the number 2 spot after the Diddy documentary was released just 2 days ago. And Diddy himself is pissed. He even sent a cease and desist letter to Netflix saying that the footage they obtained of him was illegal. I mean, pretty ironic coming from Diddy. Talking about people in the Diddyverse, never seen before footage was released of Epstein's Island. And as you'd expect, very creepy. There's even one picture of a dentist chair surrounded by masks of men on the wall, and also a whiteboard with the words power, deception, political, etc. I mean, what even is this? Huh? Some creep brainstorming session? And what the hell have they blocked out? Also, don't know how many of you believe in vampires, but a British teenager has gone missing near Dracula's castle. Yes, the Dracula's castle in Transylvania, Romania. 18-year-old George Smith went hiking alone in the mountains but has not been seen since the 23rd of November. That's coming close to 2 weeks. And despite this, no one knows where he went or what's happened to him. Speaking of search and rescue missions, Malaysian authorities are resuming their search for the flight HS370, 11 years after it mysteriously disappeared with 239 people on board. Now, they're actually partnering with an American marine robotics company, Ocean Infinity, to scan the ocean bed over a 55-day period. And lastly, Australia have officially begun removing under 16s from social media. Bro, and the ban only comes into effect next week, but they are just raring to go. In fact, Meta are starting early with reports of kids' accounts being deactivated in the country, but they did say that you can download and preserve your social media account so that when you do turn 16, you can just get right back to it.
I cannot believe Diddy sent a cease and desist on that. And the other thing, he was just saying it was stolen. He never said that it was fake or untrue. And as far as the Epstein Island goes, I looked up as to why there was a dental office there. Apparently, Epstein's last girlfriend was a practicing dentist, but it does say here that the investigators have not publicly confirmed the exact purpose of the dental room on the island, but that it's linked to her profession. I find that a bit odd. I would assume that her clients would have been very niche, and hopefully the guy that's missing in Romania gets found. And as far as the search for MH370, I'm really curious as to what they're going to find out with that. But let me know what you guys think about all the news going on right now.
In a move that harkens back to the age of big tobacco, San Francisco is going after the makers of snacks, accusing them of knowingly making unhealthy foods addictive. The city claims 11 major U.S. food producers, big names like Kellogg, Nestle, and Coca-Cola, contributed to a public health crisis by making ultra-processed food, which now make up more than half of the American diet, and which research has linked to obesity, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and cancer. Prosecutors claim these are designed to be cheap, colorful, flavorful, and addictive, and the suit calls for manufacturers to end so-called deceptive marketing practices to sell it. A trade group representing many of the companies named in the lawsuit says there is currently no agreed-upon scientific definition of ultra-processed foods, and calling them unhealthy is misleading to consumers. I asked San Francisco City Attorney David Chu about that definition.
Ultra-processed food is really food that's not food. It's not found in nature. It's created by an industry that has designed all these new chemicals. And what ultra-processed foods are is they combine artificial chemicals with industrialized processes.
The lawsuit also argues these companies violate the state's unfair competition law and public nuisance statute. I asked him what that means.
They are using deceptive advertising techniques. And they took the playbook from Big Tobacco because years ago, big tobacco companies acquired major food companies, and then the industry consolidated. And Big Tobacco literally injected not just their addiction scientists, but their marketing techniques and how to get folks to purchase these products, in particular, how to target kids.
He says they want compensation and restitution for what he calls the very significant costs as a city within their healthcare systems.
I honestly think that more states should be doing this. Ultra-processed food is not good for you. It's basically engineered to taste good with a decent shelf life, but it's stripped of all nutrients. Minimally processed food's okay depending on what they're using to preserve the food in. And a lot of these companies like to use the excuse that they do ultra processing because whole food is more expensive. And I kinda get that. But how about instead of investing millions upon millions, if not billions of dollars in advertisement, and put a large sum of that money in whole food production instead of ultra processing? That might work a little bit better if you weren't so greedy. But they probably wouldn't want to go that route because there wouldn't be all these extra added chemicals to food to make them more addictive and not have this craving to snack. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments. Hey, if you haven't done so already and you're enjoying the show, give it a like. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. I upload a video like this every Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. And for everyone that's watching and or subscribed, thank you so much for supporting the channel.
We have two weird UFO sightings, and they're coming from two very different people in two very different places on this planet. The first one comes out of Augusta, Georgia, captured by a couple of friends driving down the road. They looked up and saw this weird octopus-looking type of UFO. Now, we've seen these before, and people readily wrote them off as kites. But the thing is, these things are too well controlled to be a kite. And then the second video comes from a witness in China who knows for certain this was not a kite, as he was on top of another skyscraper filming this unidentified object that was well above, meaning thousands of feet in the air above their skyscrapers. And as he stated, it was too controlled to be a kite. Comment below, tell me what you think.
Oh my God! Alexis! Alexis!
That's an alien.
Alexis!
I've seen a number of these now. I'm pretty certain that they're kites. I could be mistaken, but that's my guess. I think it's one of these right here. It looks pretty similar to me.
There's something absolutely terrifying happening right now. You want to try to explain to me why women all across the entire earth, their cycles are all messed up for months? By the way, this picture has nothing to do with anything. It's just for your attention. Not aware of it? Ask your wife. So shout out to 50 Shades of Consciousness, because I didn't think anything of it until he said this. So I know my wife, her cycle's been messed up for literal months. Late months, didn't come from, etc., right? I see his post on his Instagram saying how many women are late on there this month or having irregular cycles. Trying to tie this in. And when I tell you pause and read, it's all the comments. Again, all the comments. Ask your wife, ask your mom, etc. Since September, a lot of joint pain. That's weird. My wife's been saying the same thing about her hips. A lot of fatigue. That's wild, right? 2 months late, other hormonal problems, all in the comments, y'all. Y'all, this is some scary, scary stuff all over the freaking earth, especially all over the United States. But I just can't figure out why that would be. Completely unrelated. Check out this really cool sky. We've been seeing some really cool stuff every day for a few months now. And it's not just women either. There's hormonal changes and psychological changes happening in guys too. I can never sleep, brain fog all the time. A lot of night sweats at nighttime. Sometimes it's good to sweat, if you get what I'm saying. Someone ought to figure this out very, very soon, because I can't even imagine how unhealthy what's happening is.
I won't go super in depth with it, but my wife is fine.
Okay, so this video is trending on Reddit right now because I guess laser weaponry is more advanced than many would think. This is not AI. This is not even like the beginning of some of these laser weapon videos. It's freaking shocking, dude. You think drone technology is the Russia-Ukraine war videos we're watching of them shoot, bird shot at a drone coming at them. How about a multi-million watt burst of energy that cooks its electronics from midair? Dude, the future, if we let the ruling elite, which are manipulating and trying to enslave us, if we let them get too far along here, man, I'm telling you, we'll be up against the strangest. They won't even need to use this, to be honest. They'll just crank up the cell towers and it will be like the movie Cell, where everyone turns into zombies because of the cell phone towers and the frequencies they emit, because our brains run on frequencies as well. Dude, there's something coming around the corner. Didn't you hear they just announced Xfinity launched a new function with their Wi-Fi router, which can detect motion in your house from someone walking around if the Wi-Fi is on, because your body disturbs the field of Wi-Fi signals coming off the router, which can paint back a picture to the router of what's going on. Think of Avatar when they're sitting at the table looking at the battlefield in real time, but with a hologram. They also have that in the Hunger Games. So we got to keep our head on a swivel, man. Something's coming around the corner.
That would probably be a really good way to cut limbs from a very tall tree, or one heck of a spider blaster, but I guarantee the cost would be astronomical. And I am certain that if Xfinity is launching this Wi-Fi motion thing, other internet providing companies are going to follow suit soon. And I'm not really a big fan of that. Truly, I do not even see a purpose in it. So I looked it up, and there's a few things here. One, this is an opt-in function, meaning that you have control whether you want it to be active or not. Now that's if the company's being truthful. I mean, sure, the button can say off, but is it really? And it also says what it's not. It's not a security system. It does not provide professional monitoring or security alerts like a dedicated security system. And what it does, it can sense motion within a space without using cameras or extra sensors. Ultimately, I do not see the point in this. I am certain other internet providers are going to start doing this, and as long as there's a feature where I can opt out or stay opt out, you can bet I'll be opt out. But I have a feeling secretly I'll be in. Make sure you just have an internet modem that's Ethernet only.
The sun just drew an infinity symbol made of pure fire, mate. And yes, I'm taking that as a good cosmic omen, right? This is your solar update. Strap in. Front and centre of the Earth-facing side of the sun is active region 4294. It's big, impressive, and the kind of region we expect to produce major solar flares. But over the past 24 hours, not much has changed at all. A little development in the intermediate section early on, but overall, despite its massive size, its magnetic complexity just isn't delivering anything wild just yet. And SWPC's flare probabilities reflect that there's a 45% chance of an M-class solar flare and a 10% chance of an X-class solar flare. So the potential exists, but it's not popping off big events just yet. We actually just went through 3 straight days with no major solar flares, which is pretty rare during active solar periods. But then, out of nowhere, the sun released a gorgeous M6 class solar flare, breaking that quiet streak in spectacular fashion. And get this, that flare didn't come from the huge AR4294, it came from the tiny active region AR14300, the little region that most people overlook on first glance. And the flare it produced was stunning. The bright ribbons actually formed a shape that looked like an infinity symbol, a looping, balanced structure that caught a lot of attention. A lot of people are calling it a good omen, a symbol of renewal, energy cycles and cosmic flow. Whether you're into symbolism or the science, it was an amazing sight to behold. So here's the solar lineup right now. AR4294, it's big but it's quiet. AR14300, small but powerful with the infinity flare moment. All of this is happening on the Earth facing side, so I'll be watching closely for CMEs, boosted solar wind, or more surprise eruptions, mate. Now, don't let the quiet nature of the largest sunspot fool you, because it is a ticking time bomb and is aiming towards Earth, and all it needs to do is just go pop with a giant, powerful CME, and we could be in for some fun, mate. So, yeah, I'll be observing to make sure that there's nothing major going down, or if it does, you will be first to know right on this channel, mate. So, yeah, strap in, mate. Cool symbology and exciting things to come, mate.
I really wanted to see the photos and the videos for myself, and I cannot seem to find this stuff online. I've looked up AR14300, I've looked up solar flare that looks like the infinity symbol. I cannot seem to find anything about it. So if anyone out there knows where I can find this information just to verify it, please let me know.
Look at this. This is a tiny robot that delivers drugs exactly where they're needed in the body and nowhere else. And it could one day save your life. This is a tiny little bead made of gelatin and magnetic particles, and the drug dosage is inside. And it's put into the body using this special catheter. Scientists guide it to the right place in your body using weak magnetic fields. And once it's there, they rapidly flip the direction of the magnetic field, which warms up the nanoparticles, melts the gelatin, and releases the drug. Here it is, bringing a drug right to the location of a blood clot to dissolve it. It could even be used to bring drugs directly to a tumor, like targeted chemotherapy. Huge if true. For more optimistic science and tech stories, follow along.
Overall, a great concept. I'm just curious as to what happens to all the magnetic particles inside your body once they disperse. Definitely it'll be interesting to see the long-term studies of this.
Kim Kardashian and Elon Musk. This would be the perfect opportunity if there was ever an opportunity for advertisement of Neuralink, right?
I said the same thing.
This is the perfect opportunity because Kim Kardashian just took the bar for whatever reason she thought she would pass, right? But let's just not beat around the bush here. Everyone looks at Kim, listens to Kim, and they're like, oh, well, she's just an airhead. She's just dumb, right? In layman's terms, she's dumb. So, of course, she had an issue passing the bar because everyone has an issue passing the bar, and she failed horribly. But now this opens up an opportunity to show the world what Neuralink can do for you. Kim Kardashian gets the Neuralink, passes the bar, 100%. Wow. Wow. And it can do that for you too. And I'm just messing around. This is not, I've never heard of this being true or anything, but that would be the perfect opportunity. Man. She already has like a huge social media following. Everyone's going to see it. Everyone's going to be amazed because pass the bar should have never happened. I'm just saying, Elon, take a shot. That's great marketing right there. Holy, if you could do that, it's proof that it works.
I basically said the same thing other than the bar aspect of it all in my previous video. I do not know much about the Kardashians, I just know they're highly influential. So why not advertise someone that's lacking a little brain capacity, add this supposedly amazing Neuralink chip that makes them 10 times smarter, market it that way, and then all of their followers are going to be like, you know what? If it helped her, it could help me too. And now everyone's just got the Neuralink. And if that's the case and that actually happens, which I kind of have my doubts, I do not think Neuralink's at that level, but once it does happen, you will see an ongoing trend of other influential people advertising these brain chips.
I love that humans have always been petty. Like in ancient Greece and Rome, they had these things called curse tablets where you could make an offering to a god and make a request. And you'd think they'd be asking for things like a bountiful harvest or to win battles, but they really read more like ancient angry Finsta accounts. One guy named Doki Metis lost a pair of gloves, and so he wished that the thief would go blind and lose his mind. Seems kind of excessive for 2 gloves, but it gets even pettier. We find tablets from sports fans wishing that the opposing team's chariots crash or the horses go lame. This guy had his clothes stolen at the baths, and so he made this curse at the bath, and I have to wonder, like, was he just standing there naked, just like furiously paying for this curse? There are also love curse tablets that are surprisingly petty, like asking for your rivals to become ugly. Keep in mind, these things were expensive. They were made of lead or gold, and someone had to actually inscribe this, oftentimes professional scribes or religious people. So, like, people took this very seriously. They thought it really affected the natural world, and cursing a thief to them was just as good as, like, going to the police station to us.
The real question is, did the curse actually work? And I don't know if I would necessarily call it petty. Back in the day, clothes took a lot of time to make. Even a pair of gloves, for them being stolen, that was someone's hard effort being taken away. Of course they're going to want to curse that person. Alright guys, I'm going to go ahead and end today's video. As always, I want to thank you guys for watching these clips with me. If today's your birthday, happy birthday, and if not, have a good day anyways.